اللهم صل على الحبيب محمد يا ربي صل.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. One of the common misconceptions about theory and fact in science, and that usually is the case with a lot of people that speak about, for example, the most controversial one is the theory of evolution, and they'll tell you, oh, it's just a theory. It's not really a fact. Well, there is something called hypothesis in science. There is theory in science. There is just speculation. There is facts. Facts are just the observations that you have, the empirical data that you collect. A theory, a hypothesis, is something that you, after observing some things in nature, you hypothesize, well, it looks like there is a trend going on here, there is some pattern happening. Okay, so I'm going to go and devise an experiment, and based on the patterns that I'm seeing here, I'm going to hypothesize that I'm going to expect this result. If the result is confirmed after several experiments that are different in their design and they just all come to confirm your expectations, now you have enough information to construct a theory. And what a theory is an explanation, a model that takes into account all of these observations that you have from all these hypotheses that you constructed, and you try to make it a coherent model. Now, that doesn't mean that this model explains the nature of all reality. It just means that it explains the nature of all the information that you've gained so far from nature, and the experiments that you've done, and explains the observations. And now you have something of a coherent model to go with. You accept that model in science as the correct model thus far. But you don't go so far as to say, I believe it, or it definitely is explaining everything there is that exists. Just to give you an example, the theory of evolution, people that speak about it with such zeal that it is the one and all, it's the final thing that explains everything. Well, if you look at just a little bit of information about how much did we explore on Earth. By the latest numbers I looked at, it's estimated that 85% of life on Earth is in the ocean. And we've only explored less than 5% of the ocean. And we definitely did not explore all of life on land, which is 15% of total life on the planet. Yet, the theory of evolution is proposed to be, by some people, the one indisputable fact that explains the whole thing to do with life on this whole planet. Now, if you look at, well, what did we actually explore versus what is out there, and to make this hubristic claim that it explains everything, you can see why it's a problem. That doesn't mean that we dispute it totally and it's coming to wrong things and it's disbelievers that have it. You know, the Quran even says, Allah tells you about non-believers, يَعْلَمُونَ ظَاهِرًا مِنَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَهُمْ عَنِ الْآخِرَةِ هُمْ غَافِلُونَ. That they know, they have knowledge, ilm, they have actual knowledge, ظَاهِرًا مِنَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيا, about what is apparent in this world. So non-believers can actually come to true conclusions about the nature of life on Earth, about physical observation. They can construct models and theories that do make sense, that do conform to reality. But to take it from this to just reject everything and have this dichotomy and antagonistic relationship between religion and science, and many people, this actually brings up the point of, there are a lot of people that, and this is not to push the idea that you have to be an expert in everything, but you need to understand what you're talking about. There's a principle in usul called al-hukmu ala shay' far'un an tasawwurihi, that ruling or judgment upon any matter is a branch from having a proper conceptualization of it. Now, if your conceptualization of it is wrong, so for example, people that come now and say, oh, theory of whatever, Big Bang theory or theory of evolution, it's just a theory, it's just a speculation. Right off the bat, you do not understand how this theory was constructed. And you cannot approach revelation in the book, as in the Quran, any differently in your belief in it as revelation that is witnessed, al-Quran al-Mashhud, that is nature. They're both manifestations of divine will and divine word. And so for you, you have to have a bit of a balanced approach of saying, okay, this is the creation of God, and this is the revealed word of God. And this is also a revealed manifestation of the word of God. How do I come to a conclusion that makes it all come together. Now, if I observe a set of information here and I come to a particular conclusion because my mind is driving me to it, it's not that I have any agenda about it, it's just that patterns seem to appear that way. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created everything in truth, and nothing is random, and it all seems to add up. Okay, if it contradicts, all I have to do is just say, I don't have everything, I don't have all the information, this is what I've come to thus far. I know that this revelation also has interpretive methodologies, and if within the realm of interpretive methodologies I can reconcile in some way without subjecting it to the science, just reconcile for my own intellectual well-being and peace and inner peace, then I can just kind of let it be and go on from there. But to put them together in a sense that, oh, this is just a speculation, it's not really telling me anything, that shows that you don't understand how theories work in science and how that could relate to the creation of God and how to bring that together with the revealed word of God. Just some thoughts to think about. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.